YouTube, and welcome to Bub's World. I am your host, Bub, and today we are going to get into my haul from Toledo, or Fantasticon of Toledo, Ohio. So the reason why I say that is because there is another Fantasticon in another city. That's not the one this was. This one was in Toledo, Ohio. I guess it's pretty much, from what I understand, talking to the local yokels, that it's pretty much the only, con or any kind of geeky type con that happens in Toledo. So now there may be some anime stuff, but as far as comics and pop culture kind of mixed together, and I have to say, this was a very comic-centric con, which the smaller cons tend to be. Now this is billed as not like a huge con. It's fairly small, but it's packed tight with comics, and I appreciate that. So lots of good stuff to show off. So let's make me small and get to the haul. Yo! All right. So I went up there. Roger Metarog came up from Florida to meet me in Kentucky, and then he loaded up with me. I threw him in the trunk, and then we went to Toledo, Ohio to visit Silver Age Dave. And we met a lot of his friends and had a big time with everybody. So a lot of fun and just a great comic weekend. And if you don't get the chance to do this, try and eke out a little bit of time. It's really some of the most fun you'll have is getting to meet other people in this comic community and sharing in our passion. So yeah, I highly recommend it. And so this year, my goal was for my collecting year to have more play dates, and that's a term I stole from Silver Age Dave a couple of years ago. So have more play dates, meaning meet more people and get out there and have more fun in person to person. And then also pick up more original art and Golden Age. So that's my focus mostly this year. So first up, we have some original art that I picked up. This is Star Wars Bounty Hunter #1. It was a sketch cover, and I commissioned this. So my goal, as soon as I get there, my goal is to find an artist. Because you want to get in early on their slate, or you end up getting some last-minute sketch. That's not what I wanted. So I went there with the express purpose. I bring with me several stacks. I think I had probably 8 or 9 blank covers that I brought with me, and then I go through the tables, and it's a 3-step process to selecting my artist. First, I look for the art that's behind them. Usually there's some kind of mural or collage of the art that they do. Now they usually have a portfolio as well, but that takes time, and then you're engaging with them, and sometimes it's a little bit uncomfortable because if you don't like what you're seeing, you can't really say, oh, this is terrible, never mind. They're like, oh, what do you think of this, and what do you think of that? And they're all trying to kind of get you to buy something, of course. So I look at the top row of their banners, and I decide who has an artistic style that I like, or that I think will lean towards some of the characters I'm wanting to get. And then I go back around the artistic row, the artist alley, and I look at their prices. I mean, quite honestly, because some of them look okay, but are too high priced for what they're, in my opinion, for their level of skill, at least at what I'm going to be requesting. And then some of them are right on price, where I think it's about right, and then some of them are a bargain. And so that being said, after I was done through all of it, I ended up picking up the highest price guy. I think he was the highest price, but only because his arts really stood out above the others for what I was looking for. He had already done some Star Wars art he had in his mural, and then when I was going through his portfolio, that's the third round. You go through the portfolio and you see, if this is going to be a good fit, and if they're available and what they can do for you. So, of course, I'm asking for something that's not on the price list most of the time, but at least the price list gets you started for a base. So this was Cara Dune, played by Gina Carano in The Mandalorian. He did a very good likeness. Appreciate it very much. And I wanted backgrounds, which of course costs extra. And I wanted some type of character in the background just to give it some depth. Now, I didn't tell him what it had to be. I said it could be anything you want, or half a dewback, or a droid in the background. I didn't care. So he ended up giving me a great Jawa and 2 droids. So I thought that was great. And this guy's name's Jason Moore. And he is the, there's his information. So he was the inker for Dave Acosta on some of his Elvira work. And I collect that, and so I actually have some of his ink already in my Elvira collection. So that was cool. So it was someone that I already had. It's someone actually working in the industry. I like to get that too if I can. That way, if I really fall in love with their art, I can pick up more of their stuff without having to find them at a convention. So I think he did a fantastic job. Really looks good. And I also bought a piece of original art from him, that some published art from him that I'll show off in another haul, just because I had to order the book that it came from, so I want to show those together. So that'll come in another haul. So great. I spent a ton of money on this guy, and I think it was worth it. So very happy with that. All right, next, you guys know I'm liking my Dick Tracy. So here is Dick Tracy Comics Monthly number 36. So the Dick Tracy line can get a little bit muddled as far as the numbering goes and the publishers go. So basically this started with Dell Publishing, and I believe it goes up until issue number 24 or 25. I think it's 24. And then picking up on issue 25, it becomes Dick Tracy Comics Monthly. And some consider it volume 2, but it continues numbering. So personally, I would call it still volume 1, but it does change publisher, so it is what it is. So it goes into Harvey, and the Harvey stuff is my favorite. Now I like the early Dell stuff as well, but there's some other like Super Comics which I like as well that features Dick Tracy. So, and these covers are so dynamic, and the interiors are great too. Here is the Runaway Blonde, the case of the Runaway Blonde. And you see that she was the one, this little bootlegger guy, he rips the bag of $50,000. And then you can see that Dick Tracy has drank some poison coffee. Never mind the condition of this book. I paid like next to nothing. Dave hooked us up with some booths that were there, and they had some great Golden Age, Silver Age, and even some bronze that was just dirt cheap. And I cleaned them out of the Dick Tracy stuff. I held back a little bit because they had a bunch. And I said, you know what? I'll come back next year, and if they have more, I'll buy more. Here's Dick Tracy number 42. So this one, look, why you dumb kid? Bringing a cop here. Take that. This guy's throwing a lamp at a kid's head. So it's just the subject matter of these pre-code Dick Tracys, man, they are rough. Very violent. Here's number 44. There's all kinds of stuff going on there. It's kind of a hodgepodge cover. Of all the ones I got, I liked this one the least. But at that point, I was like, man, I got to keep getting these. Then it starts getting some real gruesome stuff. He's getting shot in the ear. Dick Tracy is. Says, I can't last. Blub, 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 blub. That guy's drowning. But one of the things that's interesting about these is, and I'm not sure which ones they are, I can look it up, and I'll have it in the thing above, but even though it says by Chester Gould here, it's actually unsigned art by Joe Simon. So Joe Simon did a lot of these Dick Tracy covers, and he just kind of pretended to be Chester Gould while doing it. So a lot of them are Joe Simon covers as Chester Gould. So that's what you see a lot of these. And he puts by Chester Gould. He's really referring to the entire title. He's not trying to say like this is Chester Gould, but there's no other artistic marking on it as far as, signature. And this is clearly in Chester Gould style. So very cool. This one's great. Look, he's getting drugged by a car. He's firing back. Isn't that dynamic? Number 64. I love that one. Super cool. I just love calling all Crime Stoppers. Good stuff. All right, this next one is got to be my favorite fire cover that I have in my collection, which is funny because my last one was a Doll Man. That was my favorite fire cover. This is my new favorite fire cover. Check this out. Holy cow. Tess, where are you? So he's in the burning building. His hair is on fire. That girl's got a black eye. She's been beaten, knocked down. And then here's how it happened. I can't quite make this out, but it looks like there was an alarm clock that was a trigger, and then the doggy door opened and it set off dynamite. So all kinds of good stuff going on there. So Dick Tracy number 66 with the killer fire cover. I mean, that is just, look at that. I am digging that. All right, enough cheesing. And last of the Dick Tracy run that I picked up at the convention. Now there's some other books I'm going to show soon in an upcoming haul where I picked up stuff before the convention, stuff I got from Metarog that we traded out some comics, if you will, and stuff that I got from Dave. So there's lots of other stuff, but this is just purely what I bought at the convention. This is Dick Tracy 67. That guy is falling out the window, and his last hope is to grab that kid. Good luck with that. So, all right. Take these down, and we'll start. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, you guys. All right. So then I was kind of looking at some keys and picking up, finishing up some books. And people complain about convention prices all the time. If you're buying books off the wall, there's a chance you're not going to get the best deal at a convention, that's for sure. And I think when people say convention prices, they're talking about the wall books that people have up, the big mega keys. And honestly, they don't have a whole lot of incentive to sell those books. I mean, I know other than to get the money, but most people aren't walking around the con with $10,000 in their pocket, you know. Some are, I suppose. But what happens is that they have those books on the wall just to kind of draw you in, you know, a lot of times, some of the big books. So when people talk about con prices, I think that's what they're talking about, because they don't really want to sell it. They're doing better keeping it up there as a draw. And if it sells for that price, then they're definitely making a good profit, enough so that they can buy another one and replace it. So to me, what's better is digging through the bins. And you can find a lot of great books at what I consider to be good con prices, which are books that are keys and that they've been known to be a key of some sort for a particular period of time. So let's say a book has always been a popular book, so it has a price on it, but maybe the dealer didn't go through, especially a dealer has a lot of boxes. If a dealer only has like 2-3 short boxes, chances are the prices are all current. But when a dealer shows up with, 50 long boxes, he's not going through each and every one of those books to make sure they're current. He priced them once when he put them out, and he probably hasn't touched them since. Unless some hot book came out this week. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about books that have always been popular. This is one such book. Wonder Woman, number 199, classic bondage cover. The Tribunal of Fear. And I've been after this book for my bondage collection, if you will, for some time. And the prices just keep kind of climbing. And I don't want to pay those prices. So I had kind of wrote it off as a book that I may never get. And then lo and behold, I found 2 copies of this book in the same bin for the same price. And so I just picked the one that I like the condition better. This one has a little spotting, maybe some foxing. It's kind of hard to tell what it is. It's not too bad though, and it matches with the cover. And it had the much better spine, a nice clean spine. For an oversized issue, these get pretty well damaged, and the other one was pretty damaged. For the same price, I'd rather have a few spots than a ragged out spine. So there you go. Wonder Woman number 199. This is the Diana Prince era, and just a classic bondage cover for Wonder Woman. A highly sought after book, and one that I've been after myself for quite some time. Found it about half of what it's going for on eBay and other places. Similarly, here's a book that picked up steam, and thankfully the price didn't change in this guy's booth. But here you go, Wonder Woman number 205. Some more bondage there, and this is a Nubia key. Now, I'm not going to pretend to know very much about who Nubia is or why it's a key. I mean, I know it's the origin of Nubia, but I don't really know why this book spiked. I think she got her own series with DC for a hot minute. People were talking that she was going to be really the new Wonder Woman going forward. I don't really know how much of that stuck, but I know that it was very popular. It spiked up. It's funny, I had a chance to buy this book at the old prices several times, and I just didn't because I was looking for one in good condition. You guys know that I like my DC 20 centers to be very well centered, and this one is not. I had to give up on that because I had been waiting for a well-centered copy to come along, and I waited too long and the price went up. So this is, I bought this book because I didn't want to wait. So now I have this book and I can upgrade to a better centered one when one comes along, and then sell this book and maybe recoup some of the difference. So there you go. Wonder Woman 205. Suffering Sappho. Unless I can stop this missile, I'll destroy New York. She will. Look at her. She's worried about everybody else. But that is just a classic Wonder Woman in distress cover. All right, we better pick up the pace here. We got Fight Comics number 80. Look at that. I mean, that's a nice Maurice Whitman cover. Just absolutely beautiful. I'm loving the kind of furry take that they put. You don't see too many. This is Tiger Girl, so you don't see too many in tiger print. Usually that's leopard print, but look at the fuzzy on that. It's very textured. See what a good job. Even on the lines on the edges, you can see the texturing that was put into that. So this one's special. And the tigers look killer. Look at that. Oh, I'm digging it. Good stuff. Maurice Whitman knocking it out of the park on that one. Then we got a Captain Midnight, number 102. This is English printing. So it's out of London. So it has kind of a funny size. It's the same width as a Golden Age, but it's not as tall. So digging that. Like me some Captain Midnight, but I think this might be the first time he's in the collection. I'm not sure, but I think it might be my first Captain Midnight. I've always liked him, danced around him, bought one for a friend one time, but this is as close as I've kind of had one in the collection, so happy about that. I couldn't pass this up. This was $5, y'all. The Marvel Family, number 18. Too good. There were two really good Marvel Families, and I was already starting. It was the first booth, so you know how that is. So I was pulling back, and I only bought one of them, and Roger brought the other one back to the hotel. He was like, look. I was like, so I almost bought that one too. But between the two, I liked this one better. I still do. But the other one looked really good, and I probably should have bought them both. Old Mary Marvel's looking good. She's got a little bit of math homework on her face, so old Bub's going to have to get that worked out. But very cool. I love the dynamic look and the colors. I just think that's really neat. So Marvel Family number 18. Next, we got Billy the Kid, Adventure Magazine. This is Toby Press. I don't have any Toby Press, so this is a first for me. Billy the Kid number 19. Check this out. And I'm not a huge Western guy. I have a lot of Western stuff, like anyone would, but that Ghostface Killer, man, I couldn't pass that up. That was too good. Just too good. All right, we're going to transition into a few moderns here. Here is, you guys know I'm working on my Tomb Raider run. So here's Tomb Raider number 44. Nothing super special about this cover or this book other than it was one I was missing. I'm trying to pick up all the Tomb Raider with all variants. So good luck to me on that, right? All right. Then next we got Airboy number 12. The great Valkyrie cover. Airboy and Valkyrie on that one. Couldn't pass it up. Just a few bucks. And that had to come home with me. And then there was a dealer there that, you know how like some people will buy, or some dealers or some flippers or whatever will buy like 100 of a cover A just so that they can get the variants and stuff like that. So it looked like that's what this dealer was. He was tons of modern books, and they were all like A covers, B covers, and then he would have the variants on the wall. So he knew what he was doing, and he was selling anything that had even the biggest, slightest. It was like a flipper's booth. I'd never seen one before. Never seen one like this before, but it was like a flipper's booth to me because all the books out there had just a hair bit of damage, and he put them all in the dollar bin. So all modern books that came out this week were in the dollar bin for this guy. So I thought that was cool. So I picked up this one, Inferno number 2. with the Jusco Emma Frost from his Masterpieces collection. So look at that. Nice kind of older, more mature Emma Frost. Very cool. And then She-Hulk #2, the Jen Bartel cover. Digging that one. I like those. And then the last is the last book. Last day of the con, I had to go back to get my sketch cover. He wasn't done with it the first day, so I had to go back to get it. So I went back to the con on Sunday before we left out to drive home, and couldn't pass this up. Great Exploits. And this is basically a one-shot. But the reason I picked this one up is because for the first time in my collection, I am now the proud owner of a double cover. Look at that. Never had a double cover before until now. So I'll take it. Why not? And this title reprints some others. But look at that. Isn't that cool? Never had a double cover before. So very pleased to have that. Surprised to get that. It wasn't, you know, that's not something I kind of always wanted one, but I didn't want to go on eBay and just like buy, you know, search double cover and buy whatever popped up. So glad to get it this way. Okay, that's it. That's the haul. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. And thanks again to Silver for hosting us. I'll talk more about that in the next video about, you know, how it went and stuff for the stuff I picked up outside the con. But thanks to Silver, thanks to Roger, and thanks to Toledo Fantasticon, man. You put on a fantastic show, and hopefully I'll be there every year. We're gonna give it a shot. So we'll catch you next time in Bub's World. Remember to read a comic and don't apologize for the glare. Bye-bye.